Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Rangers Review. Ewan Robertson he is still at the Rangers Training Centre, where we've been hearing from Michael Beale and Kieran Dowell ahead of the Premiership clash with Livingston at Ibrox tomorrow. Ewan, good to have you on. What were the big takeaways from today's press conference?
The biggest takeaway is that Jose Fuentes will play tomorrow. So expect that to be from the start. That's what we did to Michael Beale. So Rangers fans get the first chance to watch him from the off. So I think that's a reason to be hugely excited, isn't it? Ahead of the game against Livingston tomorrow. I thought he impressed in his cameo in midweek against Servette. He won the ball back a couple of times. I really like the look of him. Michael Beale spoke about what he can offer. The fact now that he's able to train with his teammates for a few days. I think there was some people saying he should have played against Kilmarnock last weekend, but he'd only had one training session, I think, with his teammates. So that was too much to ask. So he will start tomorrow. So that's very, very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing him start the game as well. I know when I was on this morning with Stevie and Chris, they would have kept the same team that started against Servette, but I, for one, am looking forward to seeing Cifuentes start tomorrow. Did he give any other injury updates or anything like that, Euan?
He alluded to it. He said that one or two are carrying knocks, so they might not play tomorrow. Now, he didn't actually reveal who they were. He said, I'm not going to give Davy Martindale that information before the game. So I think there'll be one or two changes. Obviously, if Cifuentes is coming in, you'd expect possibly Ryan Jack maybe drop out. They might keep Ryan Jack for the second leg in Switzerland and play Cifuentes, Raskin, and Cantwell. I think that's Rangers. Well, I'd hope to expect that to be Rangers' best midfield three this season. So to see that tomorrow will be interesting for fans to get a glimpse of what could be for the rest of the season. But he didn't give out the names of the players who were potentially going to miss the game. But obviously, you can watch the full press conference with Michael Beale is on our YouTube channel now if you want to watch it from yourself from start to finish. There's a lot that he talked about in that.
Yeah, absolutely. He was asked about Scott Wright, wasn't he? What was his response to that?
So the Scott Wright deal's fallen through. That's what Michael Beale said. Scott went out to Turkey. I think it might have been twice he flew over to Turkey to talk about a move, but for whatever reason it's not happened. And he basically said Scott Wright is a Rangers player as it stands.
Yeah, interesting. Remains to be seen if he'll still be at the club when the window closes. I'd imagine there'll be a few clubs interested in taking Scott Wright off Rangers' hands. He was also asked about Alex Lowry, wasn't he? Which was quite interesting about his loan to Hearts.
Yeah. So I asked him about Alex Lowry. I'm writing a piece on Alex on Sunday, just looking into his loan move, how it came about, why Hearts was the right club. He spoke glowingly about Stephen Naismith. He said that Stephen was the right man to aid Alex's development. He talked about, I think it's a very exciting loan. He talked about Alex impressing against St Johnstone last weekend on debut, and he gave me that cameo, made a real difference to the Hearts team. He basically said that Alex needs to play regularly. That's not a given at Hearts. He has to work hard for it. But he basically missed a whole year of football through injury, so it's important. I think Alex is now 20, 21, so he has to play football. And he was also said that he wanted to make sure that Alex stayed close to home, so that Michael and the rest of his coaching staff would keep a close eye on him in terms of his development. So I thought that was quite interesting. The fact that Rangers clearly wanted Lowry to stay close to the training ground, close to the club, and that's why a Scottish move was preferred over interest from abroad and interest in England.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I said on record many times that I felt that a move down south would have done them the world of good. But impressed, of course, for Hearts against St Johnstone at the weekend, and I'm sure he'll do well at Tynecastle. I think that it will be a good move for him all round. Was there anything else of note worth speaking about, Euan?
Always difficult to remember exactly what he said. I've only just came out of the press conference, but he talked about the transfer plans. Obviously, there's an embargoed part that I can't talk about the papers, so I can't really go into what he said there. But he said 1 in, 1 out was what he said. I think it would be a 1 in, 1 out in a certain position. You have to listen to YouTube for exactly what he said there. He talked a bit about how the fact that us journalists have been putting the wrong fees out there for players. I didn't take that personally. I think he was talking about other people. something we really do at the Rangers Review, but I think there will be business in the window. Look at the players you expect to leave. I think Glenn Kamara is the one that will definitely go out. I think that's a matter of time. Look at Leeds United Leeds United selling Tyler Adams to Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think that deal's edging closer, and that it could be a domino effect there. And Glenn, all the signs are that Leeds United are strongly in for him, so that could be a good move for the player and for the club.
Yeah, Scott Lackey gets in touch and says, defence, surely. I would like to see a left-sided centre-back come in. I've got to be honest. Interesting stuff. Just for folk unfamiliar, perhaps, of the press conference format, there is a broadcast section, and as Euan says, there is an embargoed written section as well. You'll find that in tomorrow morning's papers. It usually comes out later on this evening, around about 10 o'clock and what have you. So, keep your eyes peeled on the Rangers Review website around about that time for the embargoed news section that does come out. Kieran Dell was also put up for the press. Euan, did he have anything interesting to say?
Yeah, I thought he spoke quite well. It's quite fast, isn't it? Because when John Lundstrom done the press on Tuesday ahead of the Servette game, I think a lot of people presumed that means that Lundstrom would start the game. He obviously didn't start. He didn't even play at all, did he? Against the Servette, didn't even come off the bench. So I don't know if that's an indication that Kieran Dell might be involved tomorrow. He spoke really well. He talked about Todd Cantwell and how good a player he thinks Todd Cantwell is. He talked about settling into the Scottish football and the demands at Rangers, but he really said that was expected. He also talked about Jose Cifuentes as well. He said he looks like a really, really good player in training. So I think all the signs about Cifuentes are good. I think that'll be the big talking point from Beale's press conference today. But I thought Dill spoke well. I like him as a player. It's difficult to judge him too much on that first performance of the season against Kilmarnock, wasn't it? Because of I don't want to go on about the pitch all the time, but because of the pitch, it's a completely different sort of game. You've got to think about as well that Kieran Dill's played all his career in England. He won't have played a game on that surface before as well. So, I like Dill. I think he'll be a useful squad player this season. I think he'll come in and out the side. To be honest, I don't think he's a regular starter, but I think he's a player who could force his way into the first team plans under Michael Beale. He spoke about the first experience of Ibrox against Servette off the bench. He said it was an unbelievable experience. It's what he expected from that game. I think Michael Beale and Kieran Dow were both quite keen to point out, actually I'd say very keen to point out the fact that there's no focus from anyone at the club at the moment on that second leg. It's all about Livingston tomorrow. They know that they have to simply win that game after the result against Kilmarnock, so there's no distraction about that Champions League, albeit everybody knows how big a game that is going to be in Switzerland next week.
Yeah, and as Euan says, I don't think we should read too much into whatever player is put up for the press, whether they'll be playing, as we noticed with John Lundstrom. I don't think tomorrow suits Lundstrom either, Euan. I don't want to see him in that starting 11. Kieran Dill, yes. Do you foresee many changes tomorrow?
We've also done a check the lineups for come out tomorrow. I think maybe 2 or 3 changes. The one for me, I don't know if you agree, Derek, is I've got a question mark over Connor Goldson, just for the fact that he didn't play one game in pre-season. He's coming back off a 10-week layoff he was out injured for. So he played 90 minutes against Kilmarnock, he played 90 minutes against Servette. He plays tomorrow and then he plays again on Tuesday night. That's 4 games in 10 days after not playing for months without injured, not playing any pre-season. I'd worry a little bit about that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Golson's so important, so you have edge towards playing him, but I don't know if maybe you think that maybe Leon Balogun could come in against Livingston just to be cautious over Golson. Because what you don't want happening is Golson, he's not been rushed back in, but playing too many minutes after being out for so long and then pick up a little niggle and been out for 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think Rangers can afford that. So I don't know what you're thinking on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Connor Golson was maybe rested tomorrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any problems if it was a John Souttar, Leon Balogun partnership tomorrow. I think that should be good enough to get the job done. Although Dean Milne says, agree, but I swear nothing stops Goldson. You're absolutely spot on. I'd imagine he'll be itching to play, given he has missed so much football. But yeah, that is one to keep an eye on tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see Dujon Sterling at some point as well. I think everyone's excited about seeing more of him. And let's hope that the new boys up front can get a goal or two against what will be a resolute Livingston side. Davy Martindale always gets them well organised, and we can imagine how they're going to shape up at Ibrox, trying to make life difficult for Rangers. But let's hope they can break them down and get a few goals as well and entertain the fans. Euan, that was brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Just a reminder, folks, for the YouTube members, myself and Johnny will be back around 4:30 this afternoon. So if you want to get your points across, then send them on in. It's a Q&A show. We'll discuss as many points as we possibly can. So yeah, hope to join. Hopefully we can have you interacting with the show around about 4:30. Thank you, Euan. That was brilliant. Thanks to everyone for interacting with the show as ever. We'll speak to you a little later on. Bye.